Hello, my name is Madeline Rodriguez Grant, and I am so honored that you have taken your time out of your day to interview me. And I am so excited to be interviewing for this role, and I am so excited to be able to share my knowledge of what I have learned about this company and what I know I've even experienced myself, but also show you a little bit about myself and why I would be such a great fit for this role. When applying for this position, what really stood out to me was the culture, the history, and what Penn State Health really services. Penn State Health Medical Group's foundation culture really stood out to me, and the fact that you guys live by lifting each other and the right values, and that really being standing out for being respectful, leading with integrity, and all about teamwork and excellence. This is the foundation that all companies truly need in order to support the community and find true employees who care about what they do. And I relate to these core values in my personal life and in my professional life. Respect is a huge thing that really stood out to me in the culture of this company because everyone deserves respect, being heard, having being treated with compassion, being thoughtful, and no matter what race or nationality or even language that they speak. In any country, any company, that is huge. However, in the medical world, I feel like that really stood out to me and making sure that everybody is able to receive the best services. Penn State Health Medical Group has a really long history in the community, which blew me personally away. And I was really honored to learn about this as I have been a patient of, the Penn State Medical Group in various realms as I live in the area. And, even before I really knew, I always knew that they were the leading and they were the best. You guys have always been known for being in innovation in the medical center and in education, and how the company was founded by Samuel L. Hinkle, who was the president and the chairman of Hershey Chocolate Corporation. He, in 1963, made a call to Penn State's president, Dr. Eric E. Walker, who he kind of invited Walker to discuss establishing this medical center school to not only have the school but a teaching hospital located in Hershey, Pennsylvania. They were able to provide from the Milton Hershey Foundation to give $50 million and gift it to Penn State University for this project. And with that grant, as well as receiving $21.3 million from the U.S. Public Health Care Service, the university built this college, Penn State College of Medical and Milton S. Hershey Medical Center, which is known in the area as Penn State Hershey. Doctor's offices. And Penn State has always been, the college has always been leading the way ever since, changing many lives of others, being one of the best hospitals, and not only the best hospitals, but leading in the specialty areas as well in the area. And like I said, I know me, I've personally received amazing life-changing help from these services, and you guys are continuously trying to improve and always keeping that in the forefront to make sure that they are able to support in every way possible. So, what do you guys really do? That really stood out. Not only are you a medical group that's committed to continuing this goal by being a leading teaching hospital to create outstanding doctors in the area and all around the United States, you also provide hospital services, specialties, primary doctors, and have leading in house labs. And something that really stood out to me was that you guys are the leader in many medical fields, not just only at the hospital, but also in these specialties. And you have received countless awards. For example, you guys have the Hershey Medical Center has received achievement awards from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and even Hershey Medical Center has for Pennsylvania is the only nationally certified level 1 trauma center for both children and adult. And like I was saying earlier, this is one of the reasons that I have gone to get these services because that really stands out and something to be extremely proud of. And I am honored to apply for this position, which is the Program Manager, Value Based Care, Clinical integration stood out for many reasons of why I really wanted to apply for this position. I love that one of the position's responsibilities is that they are looking for someone to be able to maintain point of contact, to help promote collaborations, push accountability, and improve the overall delivery process. This is one of the many reasons I wanted to grow my own personal skills in the healthcare side with the business side of it. We must be willing to be able to foster these relationships and help find ways to improve the overall healthcare experience and the systems. That is how we change lives, and I want to be a part of that. This is truly one of my passions. I have over 6 years of experience in working in different healthcare providers and facilities, which includes SNFs, IRFs, which is the rehabilitation hospitals, and HHA, which is the home healthcare services. And I have been able to build connections and help them provide the services that they need for the people that they service. I really also like that the position's responsibility is to work on workflows to help reduce cost. This is one area that I currently work on in my current position and I enjoy and thrive in. I love looking at the current way of doing things and trying to find ways to improve it. I love to be able to troubleshoot, kind of do, try to find the root cause, test it, and find the most efficient way that it can be done. I would love and be honored to do this in this area and in your company. And in my current company, I was able to really hone those skills and work on various projects with healthcare providers to help patients while reducing costs for them and our company. And this required me to really use those communication skills to build those foundations to improve costs and workflow and overall experience to make everybody in the situation be able to thrive. It would be an honor for me to bring these over to this company and really be able to work with such an amazing company that already strives for that, but to take my skills and to build onto that. So I meet, a lot of these qualifications. And like I was saying earlier, this is my passion. So not only am I well qualified for these different things, but I am also have the passion to improve my own skills, but also to help bring them over here and build upon what is already great and make it even better. I truly love the questions that you have asked to try to decide if I'm a great fit for this role. So I really love the question that says, describe the most successful group project that you have worked on and why do you feel it was so successful and what was your role in that group? So I really love this. I was a lead on a project, me and another team member at my current job who we have been continuously working on and developing a training plan for our trainers with our new hire group to ensure that they are really successful. I noticed that we had a lot of new staff who were not performing at the same level since we went to a remote setting, and that's kind of hard to navigate from going from being in office to hiring in a remote setting all around the United States. We had high attrition, and I noticed that it was also taking people double the amount of time for them to perform previously. So, people in the office, it took them 6 months. It was taking our current staff about a year to a year and a half. So, me and my coworker had to conduct a root cause analysis. So, we were the leads on this and really created this changes and developed this plan. So, here's what we found a couple things. We needed to change our verification of skills. They were really broad and they're responsible for knowing so much. They need to know key things of like how to research or follow guidelines. We're just overall missing. They really struggled in that area. So we had to change that verification of skills to align with that to make sure that they were successful in those areas. We also noticed a lack of communication and documentation through the process of when they were being trained. We saw that when they were reading the information, there was development that was needed also in our level 2 mentors that would help with the new hires transition from the floor to training. So in my current company, we do an in-classroom training and then they go with a level 2 or a mentor that helps them transition from that to the floor. And we really noticed that also in our level twos, there was a lack of development among them as well, from coming from the office to being at home or just navigating that remote setting. This was new to all of us after COVID. When we developed a training, we really needed to target those areas, which included how do we have, setting those documentation expectations, how to train effectively in these settings, how to communicate among team members, how and when they need to raise concerns to management, as well as opening the door to have access to us to help coach them so that they can continue to grow. So, what we did was we stayed consistent, we coached, we stayed patient. When we filled these gaps, when it was documentation, changing the VOS, if we saw something that was not working or not being effective as needed, we adjusted and we changed. This was a long-term project and it is pretty much completed, but of course it's going to continuous review to make sure that it stays where it needs to be, to make sure that it is the most effective. After many hours and months, we have really seen that our new hires are meeting and if not exceeding their goals, which is amazing. It is the most rewarding thing. And they have a lot of knowledge. They have excellent research skills, great customer service skills. And this really allowed them to stay, and love being at the company, but also grow into new positions and support our business need and them having lower stress levels. As always, I always tell my team, my job is to make your job easier, not harder. And, this is a part of that process. Also, we noticed our level two mentors had grown so much as well. They have been developed. Many of them have even been promoted to higher positions because of this development. So, what did this really do for our company? Well, it lowered our cost as onboarding new hires is one of our highest costs in our area. So, really being able to retain people longer in the term has been able to cut costs tremendously. It also helps us to have people who care, who truly want to be here and do the things that are needed for the people that we service. And also finding ways to improve the process would overall help the customer experience, maintain our federal government requirements, and have people that were ready for promotions to grow and continue this process. This has also improved the doctors and the hospitals that we service to be able to provide the best services for our patients, with representatives being able to be more knowledgeable has been key in that. As previously discussed, the project that I had been working on required us to have not just support from, me and the other coworker that was working on this project, but everybody as a whole. And of course, this does come sometimes with conflict resolution. And so, telling you about a time how I have handled being with a team of colleagues who maybe had a negative relationship, how did I ensure that the project was completed without that being impacted by our personal feelings? And I inserted this picture because I thought it was really great to kind of break down of what is needed when you have conflict and really resolving it in the workplace. Conflict is not always bad. Sometimes it's what's needed in order to make something better. And really having the right perspective is key in that. So I thought this was a really great picture that would provide that. So, like I was stating, the project that I've been working on to develop and retain employees required me to work with every supervisor in my department in different levels of management. Each supervisor had a few of these level 2 team members. They're spread out among all of us. So for it to be successful, we had to have support not only from us, but each other and really work together to find a common ground. We don't always agree among ourselves. There's no way possible for a group of people to always agree. But we have been able to work through that, especially in this particular project. At first, they were hesitant because, it was completely new. It required us to do everything different. It also required us to hold our level 2s more responsible to support this. And it required the supervisors individually to have to do a little more work up front. So naturally, they were very hesitant and kind of pushed back in this situation. As well as our level 2 mentors were not happy at first they needed support from their supervisors to really push this change, and show them the reason why we were doing it. So there was conflict on both ends. And when that happens, you got to have leadership on board in order to kind of push that through. So, how did we really overcome this? So, I did the following things to really make this project successful. And I kind of followed this guideline here in this picture. So, one, I always respected everyone. Even if we're not on the same page, you should always have respect for people and appreciate when they do raise concerns or what you may consider as conflict or having a negative relationship among them. There's a lot of different personalities in a team. We're not always going to get along, but we all need to respect everyone and be able to move forward and not have that affect, personal feelings, affect the overall outcome and what the goal is. I had to provide clear and open communication. If there was something we disagreed with, that was okay. But we needed to find a way to take both viewpoints and really find a common ground. And that's what we did. And the other thing that I always remembered is that we really all had the same goal. Whether we didn't get along, whether we had different ideas, we all had the same goal, and it was to help our team members succeed. Keeping that in that forefront has always allowed me to find an effective way to communicate, as well as it's pushed me to grow my own communication skills professionally, as it can be kind of uncomfortable when you're trying to navigate this scenario, but really me honing my skills as well as keeping the forefront of the goal as to why this was doing really helped navigating it. And when I did this, I really got some great ideas because I was open to the feedback and the, areas where we disagreed. And I would not have been able to do that without these different perspectives, including making this project successful. And I really wouldn't have gotten anywhere. This helped us to bridge the gap as I could always show them my why and that I was passionate and I wanted to improve things for the supervisors, for the team members, for our providers that we service. Yes, it may require a little work up front, but less over time. They were all on board once they saw the changes and the growth of the team members. It just took time to do that, and I was able to do that by staying patient, keeping my goal as to why we're doing it, remembering that we are all on the same team. If I succeed, they succeed. If they succeed, I exceed. So succeed. So this was really, really important. And when I was able to show them the actual outcome and the work that was put into it, including my ideas, their ideas, and really finding that, we were able to see that our common goal was able to be achieved. So navigating those difficult situations, I never allowed my personal feelings to come in them. I always reminded myself or took a step back if I felt that way. And again, just reminded myself of the why. And when I did that, I had to force myself out of my comfort zone, improve my communication skills, and really just put everything aside. And we were able to achieve that. And it's something I'm extremely proud of and I'm appreciative of because it has allowed me to grow so much in my professional world. As I've said many times, I am passionate. And I really love this picture in here because passion and inspire, they go together. And, what I feel about who I am that makes me the best option for this position is is that I am caring, I am passionate, and I am driven. I am always seeking ways to improve myself, my team, and my company. I will put in the time and effort to find the root causes, learn a topic if I don't know it, push my team and to develop it, and I have in my area, I have one of the top teams in my department with the lowest retention. It's something I'm very proud of. I have helped team members who wanted to be promoted for years prior to coming to me. They have achieved their goals, and I received one of the highest employee rating surveys, and it's something I'm extremely proud of. And last year, that was my big goal. Was I was proud of pushing those people to meet their goals who have been trying for years. I have even won an outstanding leadership award in my company. There were only a few that were awarded it in all of the management, not just in my department, but the entire company. And, what really makes people gives them the best first impression in a professional setting is this, plus multiple other things. One thing that I have asked my team, because I'm always looking for feedback, is that they continuously say to me that they know that I care about each and every one of them. I push them to achieve their goals, as well as I am always looking for ways to improve the process, improve them, the company, and our providers. And they state that they know that whatever they need help with, I know what it is, whether they haven't told me yet, or sometimes they don't even know that's what is needed. But I am always aware of that. Because of that, I'm always looking for those ways. I always tell my team that I'm going to hold them to the highest standard that I believe that they can achieve and help them attain that. You know, a lot of us hold ourselves here when we're actually up here. So I always remind them of that. So pushing them to be better can help them achieve everything and more that they've ever wanted. Like I was saying earlier, I'm also always trying to find ways to improve shareholder and be cost effective in our area. You know, with working with federal government contracts, that's a huge thing that has to be always in the forefront is cost effectiveness and reducing costs when needed. From the feedback from my team over the years on what really stands out to them when they first meet me is that they feel that the best first impression in the professional setting was because I cared. I was open, I'm extremely knowledgeable, and I'm just down to earth. This has really allowed them to be open with me, build a great professional relationship, and most of them tell me they stay because of that. And I have received the same feedback after my interview when I applied for the supervisor role, and that's why they had felt that I was a good fit as their first impression. And it's something that I truly take a lot of pride in and strive and always try to improve. And I think that I can bring that to this company, and I hope that you guys also have this first impression as well. So, why choose me? Well, I have 6 years plus years of experience of working in healthcare and insurance world. And again, it is something I am truly passionate about. I have worked on multiple projects to resolve an issue in my current company over the years. And I have identified with the root cause analysis, improved the shareholder experience, employee satisfaction, as well as being able to reduce costs. In the past, I have worked in regulated healthcare due to federal requirements, as I've stated previously, and this has really allowed me to have a structure and always be mindful of cost and requirements that are needed that might be tedious to some, but are always able to be worked at and achieved if you use these different ways to do that. And I have the tools in order to do that. You're looking for someone to manage and improve things for the same reason. I just have, as someone who I am someone who will take initiative and utilize phenomenal communication skills. And for that, I really think that you should choose me. I think that all four of these things allow me to be the best candidate for this position and show you in my previous responses that that's what I'm here to do. And I have great skills that I can bring over to you guys and really not only develop my own, but improve everything. And with us having the same, reason why, I really think that I would be a great candidate for this position. So I really thank you for allowing me to interview today and really show you that I would be the best candidate and who I truly am as a person in the professional world and as who I am outside. I look forward to hearing from you and really working with a great company. It would be my pleasure and honor to have this opportunity to really grow and try a new avenue and be the best person for this position, not only to be able to support you, but grow and be someone who truly cares and wants to develop those relationships with your providers, your doctors in the healthcare world, as well as maintaining those structures and government requirements that are needed with the healthcare world. So again, thank you so much for this, and I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to interview me. It has been an honor, and it's been great to meet you, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.